Hello, very good day to you. 2024 has almost come to an end, but it's not going quietly. We have some strong winds, some heavy rain, even a bit of snow as we go into the beginning of 2025. Starting off looking at the bigger picture currently, and the jet stream to the west of us is actually starting to strengthen, and because of this, it's driving an area of low pressure that's coming towards the UK as we go towards New Year's Eve. It's likely to track just to the north of us, but nonetheless, it is going to bring some very wet and some very windy weather, especially to northern parts. Now, Monday was a pretty wet day across parts of Scotland, and with some further heavy rain across much of Scotland as we go into Tuesday, we are likely to see some impacts. Totals through the 2 days could be in excess of 100 millimetres for some places, which is why there is an amber rain warning out for some parts of northern Scotland, as we are likely to see some flooding and some travel disruption as well. As well as the rain, we need to watch out for some snow, particularly on the northern edge of this system, and as we go through the day, that snow is going to become largely confined to the Northern Isles. It is also going to be windy. We have heavy rain across many parts of Scotland first thing on Tuesday morning, also heavy rain across parts of Northern Ireland, and strong winds, gusts of around 70 miles per hour, so a wet and windy start in the north for many. A drier picture first thing across much of England and Wales, but that rain across Scotland and Northern Ireland pushes its way southwards, clears away, but then feeds its way into parts of Northern England and across much of Wales, perhaps even reaching South Wales as we go through the afternoon. Staying dry though across more central southern parts of England. Further north across Scotland, and whilst a lot of the rain does clear away, there will be a mixture of bright spells following in behind, but also plenty of blustery showers, and across the far north of Scotland we have some more persistent rain and even some snow continuing for Orkney and Shetland. Now, temperatures are going to be on the mild side for the time of year, many places just about getting into double figures, but it is going to be windy, like I said, and the wind strengthening across England and Wales as this front makes its way southwards, so feeling a fair bit colder than these highs may suggest. Now, as we head through the evening and towards midnight, this front across England and Wales kind of lingers, so a pretty wet picture here. But if we look at the details as we head towards midnight and across parts of Scotland, there will still be some outbreaks of rain for many places, but not as wet as it will have been earlier on in the day. And across the far north, particularly the Northern Isles as well, here some of those showers will be quite wintry, so some sleet and snow, also some icy patches to watch out for. A largely dry picture across the borders area and across Northern Ireland, a bit of rain not too far away, but then, like I said, we have this front lingering, so many parts of northern England and into North Wales having a wet start to the new year. Slightly drier though across southern parts, staying pretty cloudy, and it is likely to be mostly dry, like I said. Now, what happens thereafter, and actually we need to look further west out to the Atlantic. Here you can see the jet stream is dipping down, and it's this dip in the jet stream that's then going to likely interact with an area of low pressure that's developing just to the west of us, and it's this interaction that's then likely to lead to this low perhaps developing and deepening slightly. So this could be a bit of a feature that comes across the UK as we go through into New Year's Day. The thing to bear in mind is that this hasn't actually developed yet, and so there is still a bit of uncertainty as to exactly how potent a feature is going to be. Nonetheless, we can expect some pretty wet and windy weather to push its way across parts of England and Wales as we go through New Year's Day, and there could be something wintry on the northern edge of this as well. Further north though, across Scotland, we have a bit of a northerly wind developing, and it's on this northerly wind that we're going to see quite a few showers pushing their way through, and because of the direction that this wind is coming from, we're likely to see some of those showers being quite wintry because it is a cold direction. That rain, as it pushes through, could lead to some issues because it is likely to be quite intense, and we could see totals perhaps over Wales building up to around 100 millimetres, and we do need to watch out for some strong winds associated with this band of rain as well, gusts of around 65 to 75 miles per hour in exposed spots and around 50 to 60 miles per hour quite widely even inland. A bit of a north-south split when it comes to our temperatures. Despite the wet and windy weather across southern parts, it is still going to be quite mild. Temperatures on paper similar to Tuesday really, but further north with that cold Arctic air that I mentioned, temperatures are going to be markedly lower, mid-single figures for many places, so starting to feel pretty raw indeed. Now, as we head later on and towards Thursday, we do then see the back end of this front still bringing perhaps a little bit of rain for a time first thing Thursday morning, but then that clears away, and the main talking point is the fact that the whole of the UK will be under this cold Arctic air with our air coming down from the north. And so it is going to be a chilly, cold, frosty start for some of us, a fairly harsh frost first thing, but the flip side of the cold is the fact that there'll be more sunshine than we've seen recently, much less cloud around, lots of blue sky, and even though it is going to feel pretty cold because of that Arctic air, in many ways a little bit more pleasant because of the fact that there'll be some sunny skies to be had. It is going to be a much drier day for many places, but do bear in mind that there will be quite a few showers coming down on that northerly wind, particularly in areas exposed to that northerly wind, so across parts of northern Scotland, but also down the eastern side of the UK, and perhaps some showers feeding into Northern Ireland. And because it is a cold direction that our wind is coming from, you would expect some of those to be a little bit wintry. Most places, though, avoiding them and having a lot of dry and actually largely sunny weather, but notice those temperatures markedly down compared to earlier on in the week. We stick with that cold Arctic air as we go through Thursday night into Friday. It is looking pretty cold Thursday night into Friday, so a harsh frost for many of us. Temperatures could get to negative double figures, and so also need to be aware that there could be some icy patches to watch out for, and a few more wintry showers in places exposed to that northerly wind. But most places, yes, just getting off to a cold, frosty start first thing on Friday morning. And then Friday itself, not too dissimilar to Thursday really. Thursday will have slightly stronger winds to start off with, those easing, whereas Friday looks generally lighter winds, particularly towards the south. But towards the northwest there will be some strengthening blustery winds developing as we go through the day, and it's on these winds that we'll see a few more showers coming in from the northwest, so slightly different in terms of where we're most likely to see the showers developing on Friday compared to Thursday, in as much as they'll mainly be coming in from the northwest as opposed to straight from the north. Again, there will be a decent amount of sunshine across central southern parts of England and Wales, but further north, because of that slight change in our wind direction, I'm expecting it to be just that little bit cloudier. Now, there's a reasonable chance that it is still going to be pretty cold as we go through Friday, but temperatures starting to pick up just that little bit compared to Thursday. Looking even further ahead, and the generally settled picture looks most likely as we go into the weekend. Worth bearing in mind that there is a waving feature just to the south of us. At the moment it looks like it will stay to the south, but if it comes a bit further north, then we could have some unsettled weather in association with that. But on the whole, most likely is that the generally fine weather lasts for many of us as we go into the weekend. Now, whatever your plans are for the New Year's celebrations, do make sure you stay up to date with the warnings as they are likely to get updated. Otherwise, I hope you have a wonderful rest of the year, and I'll see you in 2025.